Oh.
What's that from? What's that from? What's that from? Robbie knows. He knows. What's that from? She saw the old face. You know what I'm talking about. Oh.
It wasn't American Pie, was it?
No.
Office Space.
Office Space.
Have you?
We never got to the paranormal.
And this is going to be a very interesting one because I had heard, you particular, I had heard that Eric thought he saw a shadow person at your place.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, Eric is scared of shadow people, so he let his imagination get the best of him one night when he was staying at your place. It was all in his mind. I didn't know that it was corroborated by other people.
Yeah.
So this is completely new. This is news for me.
To you?
I didn't know this was a thing with you, that there's like legit shadow people phenomena going on in your place.
I mean, I don't know if phenomenon is the right word.
Well, if multiple people, yeah, there you go. If multiple people are seeing shadow people in your place.
Multiple people have, I have, people that don't even know each other.
So what do you, when you see a shadow person, are you like, duh, and do you run? What do? Throw something at it?
Yeah, I throw something. I throw my drink at it. What's the matter with this you?
Are you surprised when it goes through them?
Yes, I'm very surprised, actually. No, I mean, they're not doing anything. They're not.
So you just let them chill in your place?
Well, it's not like they come to sit down on the couch. It's like, hey, what's up? What's going on? You want to watch freaking Pawn Stars? It's not like that.
I would have a problem with a real person just standing there lurking. If it's like a shadow, like a non-real person, like some type of entity, I'm gonna have more of a problem with
But a
that.
shadow person is really something you just see quickly. You catch it like a
So
quick
you're
glance.
not seeing them like.
Yeah, no,
prolonged.
they're not sitting around playing freaking PlayStation.
Yeah, but I thought that her name starts with R. When she came into the kitchen, I thought that there was like a tall shadow man with a hat, which is bad news, and like a kid shadow man. They were just standing there. Was that?
Yeah, but I didn't see that. I was told about that later.
Okay. So that's something I didn't want to gloss over because you kind of briefly mentioned it. So when you say people have seen this,
Yes.
all right. So it's independent people without collaborating with each other.
Right.
And without even putting the idea in their head, like
Right.
they're coming.
Yeah, I don't mess like people don't come over and I'm like, oh hey, by the way, you see a shadow person, don't worry, they live here. No, I don't do
You have
that.
a sign on your door that says "Watch out for shadow people."
Yeah,
nothing like
and,
that.
and the person you're speaking of specifically, like she doesn't believe in that kind of stuff, and she thought it was like I have a little like gizmo. Actually, it's yours, and it was sitting in front
want it
of
back.
it was sitting in front of my
Gizmo the Mogwai
monitor.
from Gremlins.
Yeah, it's sitting in front of my monitor, and she thought that was projecting a shadow into the kitchen, which is just impossible. Like
No, there's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way that enough light would come off that monitor.
Exactly.
And it's too far away.
So this wasn't like something in the corner of her eye. Like she saw this and it was there, and it wasn't like blinking. It's
According to her, right?
And if she doesn't pay any attention to all this stuff, and the fact that she saw one with a top hat, that is
Yeah, she saw the Hat Man, right?
that is described by all these different people randomly. And then she was like, I believe when we had this conversation, she didn't know that was a thing that other people
Yeah,
saw.
no, she didn't know that. She thought it was the shadow coming off of this toy in front of my computer monitor, which is impossible. And when she told me about it, I'm like, dude, you saw the Hat Man? And she's like, what? And I had to like explain to her what it was because she wasn't into any of that stuff. She knew nothing about it.
Was she like duh, afterwards?
First she was like, dude, shut up. I'm like, no, I'm being serious. She goes, no, there was a shadow off of that. And it's funny because the gizmo is like this tall.
Yeah.
And if it was sitting in front of my monitor, the monitor stand or whatever, it would have been too high to cast a true shadow on anything. And like you said, there wouldn't have been enough light.
Well, and also the shadow wouldn't have been crisp enough to have that perfect outline.
Exactly. But she saw the Hat Man, and she saw, I guess, a kid shadow person as well. And I was like, no, there's no way that you saw the shadow from this toy in front of the monitor. I was like, there's no way. She didn't want to believe it, and she was like, you're just messing with me. And I'm like, not.
Now, am I right?
And when I was with my son's mom, she told me that she would see the Hat Man. She didn't call it that, but it was like, yeah, I see this shadow person all the time and he wears a hat and whatever. And I'm like,
At your place or at her place?
she would see it before me and her even met. But when we were together,
So,
though,
okay.
when we were together, she saw it at least once, and I saw it once too.
So the thing stuck around with you for some reason.
I guess.
Eric is terrified.
Eric's terrified, and Eric is like, they're evil, they're this, they're that, and I'm like, look, the Hat Man is known to be evil, right? Allegedly. Shadow people aren't necessarily evil, and I'm like, dude, they're not doing anything, they're not messing with me, so like, it's whatever, right? Like, if I woke up one day floating in my bedroom, you know, over my bed, I might be concerned and have to do something about it, but they don't do anything.
Just hauling you off.
I remember one time, I was sleeping and the boy was over, and whenever he's over, I usually tend to sleep a little bit lighter. And I felt something get like onto the foot of the bed, and it woke me up. And I thought it was him. And I woke up and I was like, hey bud, what's up? You okay? And silence. And then, you know, I got my bearings or whatever, and there was nobody there. And I was like, what the hell? So I go into his room, and I'm like, hey, buddy, you just come into my room. And he didn't say anything. And I was like, bub, you awake? He was asleep. So it was just me and him in the apartment. So whatever it was, like, I physically felt somebody, like, crawl up on the foot of the bed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that woke me up.
So there's something I've never talked about before, but whenever I was leaving, I believe it was here, and this was maybe like, it was definitely here. I was leaving here. We were shooting some video.
Wait, you like this place, this house?
Yes.
Okay.
This was like a year ago. So I was going home, and it was like, and okay, so we're around I don't want to get too specific on the roads or whatever, but the main highway that I go towards home, you know,
20?
okay, I guess we are getting specific.
Stupid.
Yes, 20.
Okay.
I'm in the left-hand lane because, you know, I speed. And on the left-hand side, there's underneath the overpass. There's still, you know, it's in the middle of the city, so it's not completely dark. There's still lots of light and stuff. You can kind of see it pretty well. Along the fence, the guardrail, I should say. There's clear as day somebody standing there, clear as day. And I'm like, well, what's this guy doing? And it looked like he was kind of just like leaning up against it, just watching the highway. And I can clear as day see this as I'm coming around.
It was night though.
It was not.
Okay.
But again,
Sure.
yes, you know, I don't remember if there's street lights there or whatever, but it's definitely not pitch black or anything like we're in the country. But it's clear as day that I can see somebody there, and my mind is like, what's this guy doing? Is he like a weirdo? Is he gonna like throw something at the car or something? And as I pass, I'm looking at this, and it's like I can't see like any. It's like there's almost like nothing there. It's I know it's really hard to explain. It wasn't like it was a shadow. It was just like nothing. Like I can't explain it.
Like
So
it
you
just
saw the guy that
faded
you
away?
No, but there was something there, and it was in the shape of a person.
So it was like
trying to
Predator.
Well, no.
His camera, his, you know.
I know what you're saying. Maybe I don't know. I'm trying, but the kicker is, I was looking, I was like, what the hell is that? And because in my mind it was definitely a person. And then as I'm looking in the side view mirror, I just see like a zigzag, and like almost like it just took off at like super speed. And I don't know if it was my mind playing tricks on me or if that was like what I actually saw, because I was just weird. I was sitting there like, I didn't see that, did I? Did I really just see that?
When you were coming up on him though, it looked solid.
It looked solid.
And then the closer you got, it didn't look solid.
No, it still looked solid. That's the hard part is trying to describe, like it's I'm finding the words difficult. Yeah, it was mostly kind of like shadowy, but I'm hesitant to say shadow man or shadow person. But it was in the shape of a person, like straight up. Like as I'm coming up to it, it was clear as day. It was a person standing there. And I was like, why is this person? Is this person about to walk in the road? Like, I literally started to like slow down a little bit because I was like, is this like a homeless guy about to walk into the road?
Right, right. Which is what I would have thought. If there's somebody on the highway and they have no business.
Right. And so
It's like, yeah, you ain't offing yourself with me, buddy.
Right.
yeah. And so and so obviously as I'm slowing down, I'm looking, and it's just like it's dark. It's like it's a dark person, but it starts to kind of blend in with the background to where it's like everything kind of starts becoming dark because it was in that area where like underneath the overpass. So it was like it started kind of like mixing in with the shadows that were there. So I guess that's kind of like more of like what I'm trying to say.
So it's a little more nebulous and.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And then when I looked in the rearview mirror, I just saw like a zigzag flash. But
Of what? Light?
But you see, that's the thing. It's like when you're looking in the mirror and there's like all kinds of things flashing through the mirror.
Yeah.
Passing things. Is that? Did I see that actual thing go like that?
Sure, or something else.
Or was it just? It could be literally anything. And so that was but my mind was like, I swear this thing looked like it just went like that. But who knows?
But light, not shadow or anything.
No, it's like shadow.
Oh, okay, you saw like a
no.
That was still shadow. That was still dark.
It wasn't like a streak of a headlight or anything.
Okay.
It wasn't light. It was just like it just looked like a part of the background just went.
That type of stuff makes me want to almost have one of those dash cams, that they have in Europe all the time. Like everybody in Europe has those dash cams, filming everything.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I have one. I just need to install it.
Yeah, because you could have had some paranormal stuff. I don't think I've ever had any ghostly experiences or anything. And you guys just, you know what it is? You guys are just negativity spreaders, man.
It's like
and
that.
you guys just attract bad stuff, I think is what it is.
It's like that light in the hotel in Arkansas that night.
Oh yeah. See, I still think that was either him or Jordan though.
I don't think it was, man, because it was raised.
It was you, wasn't it?
It wasn't me.
It was directional. It looked like somebody was using their cell phone as a light.
Cell phone light isn't that directional though. It's just it's like Omni, where it's
No,
no. It's not directional. Like
if it's
flashlight.
completely dark, you would see the source coming out. Like somebody took out their phone and they were looking for something. Like they were using it as a light. Like they were using it as a flashlight.
Maybe Jordan thought he saw a ghost and was trying to find.
But here's the thing though. Okay. So even if it was this,
No, not like that. No, it was like the monitor part was illuminated, and they were just using that, not the flashlight part, the phone itself, like it was just going like this.
you wouldn't be able to see anything with just the.
I don't know, but remember what did I said something like, "Hey, turn that off."
It was brighter than
and
a screen.
and then it turned off.
It was more like this.
So if it was a ghost, he was like, "Duh, you just got caught."
Yeah, he was like, "Good."
And it was up. It wasn't like,
Sure, it was like somebody carrying it. It was closer. It was almost in front of us. See, that's the only thing. Is after I said that,
they were laying in the other bed though.
yeah. After I said, "Hey, turn it off," it turned off almost immediately. And it was like, which one of you jerks did that? Whoever it was would have had to have run silently, jumped in bed without making any noise, and pretend like, what? Oh, it's the only thing.
And it was brighter like this. It was. I remember that.
Okay.
Because the screen wouldn't have. It wouldn't have had that kind of light, and it was just kind of.
I saw it a little bit longer than you, though.
I don't remember if I saw it or not. Actually,
Yeah.
No, yes, I said that, and that woke you up. You opened your eyes, and you saw it just as it was disappearing, right?
Yeah.
So it was moving. It was like somebody had their cell phone, and they were kind of going like that, and they were moving towards the front of our. Like if this is our bed here, their bed was right here, and this thing was coming like this, and I was like, "Hey, who is that?" or whatever, and then it turned off.
maybe a sex pervert broke into our room.
It would have been impossible for it to have been either one of them, because I remember when I opened my eyes immediately, one or both of them were like, "What are you talking about? Like, what are you yelling about?" They were still in bed.
All three of you dudes got scared though.
I did not get
Slowly got slony. You guys threatened to beat me up if I if I turn the lights off. I was like, screw it.
What?
You guys, he's like, I think we should just go.
No, there might have been one person in our camp who said that, and it wouldn't have been me and him.
You guys got,
Wouldn't have been. No,
you guys
bullshit.
were,
Don't
got
point at me.
livid with me.
Bullshit.
You guys got furious. We're not turning nothing off.
No, because it was just after a convention, and we had left late, and all we got to was Little Rock. I wasn't driving. I wasn't gonna get in the car and start driving. I was tired. I was ready to go to sleep.
Jimmy, I did see ghost hands.
Yeah, and I didn't believe you on this one until your sister was like, yeah,
Confirmed it.
yeah,
I saw it.
because
Yeah. I was walking from the thing is, and I kind of wish Chris was here because this house, my grandparents' house, he had weird things happen there, and my dad actually had weird things happen too. So this house was kind of split. But I was in the living room, went to the kitchen. In the hallway, two hands came out, and two floating white hands came out to go.
oh, I thought they were shadow for some reason.
No, they're white.
Okay.
Solid white hands like this.
Oh, they were solid. They weren't like semi-transparent or anything.
Well, I mean, who's to say? That was so long ago.
Okay. You were in the hallway, right?
Yep. No. I was walking from the living room to the kitchen, passing the hallway. And so I passed the hallway, and they just kind of came reaching out like this to me. What's funny is I have always in my mind, and when all the people, I talk to whatever, I've always described them as like Mickey Mouse gloves. That's how I say it. I'll say, oh, it's kind of like Mickey Mouse gloves. I've always said that. I don't know if we cuss on this channel or not, but I crap you not. I was listening to a podcast. And they were recanting stories of people seeing float. There was a segment about floating hands, and one person literally described it as Mickey Mouse gloves. The same as exact 35 years later, I'm hearing the exact description of what I saw.
It was just hands, not arms, not forearms or anything, or did you just not notice that?
Yeah. Again, it's like, that far, your memory fades you, So,
Okay.
So I just know there was hands. The details can get murky,
So go through the story again, because I always had it wrong. I always thought you guys were in the hallway and it was dark and you saw hands come at your sister.
No. My sister was in the kitchen. I was in the living room. I went to the kitchen, and as I passed the hallway, they reach out. But
the hands came from the hallway.
Yes. But
Okay.
From her perspective, where she's standing in the kitchen, she could see me coming, and she can see into the hallway. She could see into the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
So your sister saw the hands as well in that moment.
Yeah, she immediately started screaming.
Okay.
She's like,
Okay.
Okay, how old were you guys?
this is me.
You were like Larry, like,
Yeah. You don't expect it.
I'm sorry, you know what? If that was me, I would have been at that house. You guys were alone,
Have
right?
an option, and it's where my grandparents lived.
You guys were alone, right?
Yeah, I was definitely not sleeping in any of the bedrooms back there.
No. When this happened, though, were the grandparents still?
Yeah, they were home.
Oh, they were home.
They were home.
Did they have any idea of what it was?
No. Well, I mean, it shouldn't look. My grandmother would always. There was things that happened in that house, and I would always hear her kind of off in the some places. Some people out here talking. I hear bits and pieces of conversation, but she would never actually tell me because she would freak me out. She's like,
You should interview her.
yeah, she still lives in that house. Chris was in that house one time, and he said that he was like asleep in the living room, and like things just started moving on their own. Like the clock started winding by itself. He's told this story like on one of the DVDs or something, I think. And like everything just started kind of like like a poltergeist or something. At that point, you just bolt. Like I don't know why you stayed there, but I remember when I first told you the story, you misheard what I said.
Yes.
Ghost ant.
And you thought I meant there were ghost ants
Like the ants, with mandibles like that bite you, like
floating around.
fire ants.
I don't know what's funnier, giant floating ants or like little ghost ants. They're like the size of regular ants.
That's
When you
what I
said
thought.
ghost hands, I literally pictured just 2 gloves on the ground.
Oh, on the
Just
ground?
there. And you're like, those weren't there before. That's what I thought.
Like a clown got undressed in the hallway.
Yeah, you're like, oh.
Yeah, no, I first I thought you said ghost ants, ants, and I just imagined like regular size ghost ants just kind of floating.
Wearing sheets.
Wearing sheets, two holes poked out.
And I'm thinking, you know what? I don't think I would be scared of ghost ants. Maybe if they were giant ghost ants, that might be a little different. But if they were regular size.
Well, the size ghost ants.
I didn't we reference that on soft?
I want to say one of the cartoons or something.
Did we? Maybe.
We definitely talked about this before.
Ghost ants. If not, there needs to be a.
But no, yeah, I didn't believe you, dude. I didn't believe you. I was like, you're just so full of crap. And then your sister was like, no, it was true. I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
I saw the ghost ants as well.
How old were you when this happened?
Yeah, I was probably like 11 and 12.
She,
My memory when it comes to like when things happen at what age is, yeah, and it sucks. My memory sucks in general, but I do know that happened and it stuck with me. Yeah.
I don't think I'd have gone back. I'm like, you know what? You guys come visit us.
Yeah.
I can't handle that. You know, I feel like I got attacked. Some ghost hands tried to get me. I can't sleep there again, Mom and Dad.
Well, you know what? That wasn't happening because that's where the video games were. This is why I didn't have any video games.
So video games overpowered any type of supernatural abductions.
There was no Nintendo in my house at that time. So for me to play Nintendo, I had to power through the ghost infestation.
Infestation.
Ghosts or my soul.
Ghosts or Nintendo? Hmm? Or yeah, I got that wrong, but you get the point.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. I it comes to disappearing object phenomenon. I'm pretty much the receiver of that.
I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off, but I've actually been at your house before, and things will just like fall off a shelf.
Okay,
Like, seriously.
let's talk about that because you've talked about some absolutely ludicrous things that have happened in your present dwellings.
Yeah.
That, like stuff with the stove.
So yes, this is
Now, what led up to this? What led up to
this is yeah, Fork. So like
Onto this decor.
for the last, I don't know what happened. Like this just started randomly happening. Like, you know what? It could be a demon in one of the games I picked up at the flea market.
Haunted game.
Haunted game.
There are people that say that like things can get attached to flea market stuff and thrift store. I'm wondering if that's what happened.
Because that's all you buy from flea markets is games, right?
No, I mean, toys,
Haunted action figures.
all kinds of stuff, right? Or just anything. Like,
No, but some of the stuff is straight up dangerous.
well, okay, yeah, okay, so this is the type of stuff that would happen. Like,
And you witnessed some of this?
yeah, okay. One time, there was I'll start with there was a Diet Coke. First of all, I don't drink Diet Coke. I have no idea what is Diet Coke. Nobody in the house drinks a Diet Coke. Yet I opened the pantry where the dishes are, and there's a Diet Coke there. I go, well, it's not my Diet Coke. I don't drink Diet Coke. Nobody in,
Not in the fridge.
the missus doesn't drink Diet Coke. Nobody drinks Diet Coke in my house, yet there's a Diet Coke with the dishes. Now, did somebody stay in my house and just put a Diet Coke in my pantry, where the dishes go? Perhaps. But you would think that a day would, and that would, eventually I would see this Diet Coke in my, like I open up that thing every day.
Right.
Okay. The one that was really weird is like we went to the grocery store and I had like a little charcoal grill back there at the time.
Yeah.
And so I need some charcoal and I get a little bag of charcoal, not a big one, just a little bag of charcoal. That's all I needed. And so I always take the charcoal and I put it right next to the door. So that way when I go outside, I can just grab the charcoal and be done with it. That's the place I put the charcoal every single time. The place where I do not put the charcoal is inside the oven. Because the next day, the missus starts the oven, we all start to smell charcoal. And
She's preheating it.
preheating it.
Yeah.
Obviously, there shouldn't be anything in the oven. And
Is this pre the kid?
no, I think this is right around when the kid was born, actually.
So it would have
that's
been physically
impossible
impossible
for
for
him
him
to-
to have.
No, there's no way.
Okay.
Absolutely. Not like if he was born yet, he wouldn't not even been able to walk.
Right. Okay.
And
right.
even when he was walking, he's not going to pick up that thing of charcoal is probably weighed as much as him. He has no weight.
Right.
You know? And
I just
nobody-
I didn't know if this was just like a month ago or something.
no. This was
Okay.
it was a while back, and literally there was only two people that could have done it: me or the missus, and literally
Neither
no
one of you would have
reason-
done that.
There is literally no reason why either of us would do that.
Neither one of you would have done that.
It doesn't even make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Like none of it. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like somebody who has kind of a vague concept of the way a kitchen works,
Yeah,
but not really.
yeah.
That's why they're like, oh, okay, well this must, like this is a good place to put a Coke,
Yeah.
Yeah. Or this is where you cook. So
Charcoal goes in the oven.
you know,
That's
I
the grill,
really
right?
about that. There's been other things that it's funny because there's been other things in the kitchen, but I forgot what they were, and I wish I would have wrote them down.
yeah, you should.
That's funny. Yes, the kitchen seems to be the center point for a lot of this.
You should say, hey, you know what? We're going to do an experiment. We're going to put a camera just to kind of see. I don't know. Is it still going on, this stuff, or has it faded away?
It hasn't happened in a while, actually.
You had something with your garage door opener.
Yeah, I'll get that second. But the one other thing that happened that's just unexplainable is our bedroom. We went into the bedroom one day, and the bedroom window is open. And
Oh my goodness, dude.
and there's no way I know for a fact I didn't. You don't accidentally open up a window and just plumb forget. I never those windows in our bedroom never open. I'll tell you, never open. Even when it's a nice day outside, we never open.
There are no nice days in Texas.
I was about to say, depending on time of year, you're not opening windows in Texas.
There's like seven days out of the year.
right.
Out of those 7 days, this was definitely not one of those days. By the way, this was not a window opening day. Yet the window was open. I know for a fact that I didn't do it. There's not a chance in hell the missus would have done it. She's not. There's no reason. Chuck, she hates opening any windows even when it's a nice day because she's afraid bugs are gonna get in.
Sure.
And so that's just not gonna happen. There's nobody else at the house. Again, the kid can't even reach the window.
You didn't think robber or anything at the time?
No, because well, here's the thing.
Well, the bedroom's on the second floor.
No, it's on the first
No,
floor.
this is on the first.
Oh.
But the screen, there's a screen on the window that wasn't pried off or intact.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have had the person, if somebody had opened up the bedroom window.
They would
And by the way, these things are always locked. We never open it up, so they always remain locked anyway. They would have had to take the screen off, somehow got unlocked, open it up, and then put the screen back on. Like, why would you go through all that? Sure, doesn't make any sense. And I went back there just to make sure that like, no, the screen wasn't tampered with. It's not tampered with at all. Like, this doesn't
Weird.
make any sense.
Electronics act funky in your house too. Camera, like fully charged camera batteries or light batteries or stuff like that will just die
Oh, wow. That's really
drain.
interesting.
It'll
Yeah, that's because that's
all the
like,
time.
that's supposed to be a thing right there. Oh, is that why the batteries are always dead since we've started doing stuff?
So there, I don't know. There's something about me that makes like this kind of stuff mess up. Trust me, you don't want it. It's definitely not cool. Disappearing object phenomenon. That kind of crap happens to me all the time, where things will just disappear into thin air. Best example is the garage door opener. We got a brand new garage door opener installed. And got brand new garage door, the transmitters, and I don't want to leave the transmitter in the truck because all somebody has to do, obviously, is you break the window, they got the transmitter, they can, get access to the house. No big bada bing, bada boom. It's that easy, right? So I took the transmitter and getting out of my truck, I put the fucker right in my pocket. And you know my driveway. It's not like I have to traverse, a field or anything.
Yeah,
it's literally the driveway. I walk 7 feet into the garage. I stop and I'm like, well, I guess I'll just press the little button here that's, in my pocket, and I can just close the garage behind me as I'm walking in. I press, there's nothing there. And I'm like, okay, well, that's weird. It must have just fallen out of my pocket, surely. I look for an hour on the ground. There's nothing there.
Did it ever turn out?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
Okay, well, it's not on the ground. And obviously there's just concrete. Like, I'm looking for an hour because logically it's like it has to be on the ground somewhere, but there's only so long you can stare at concrete and realize that there's nothing there. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, okay, well, logically it has to be in the truck. Maybe I'm just stupid. Maybe I thought that I had taken this device and put it in my pocket, but really I didn't. Maybe it just fell into, between my seat and the middle console or whatever. I searched my truck for a good 30 minutes. Nowhere to be found. So somehow this thing disappeared from on the way from me leaving my truck to walk to the front of the garage, not even deep into the garage, just the front of the garage, in which is 7 feet of total walking distance, and has been gone forever ever since, and it's been like 3 years.
So it hadn't turned back up.
This never turned back up. No, it's just gone.
Interesting.
And it makes no sense. And okay, maybe I'm just the idiot, and I don't know. Maybe it just like matter dematerialized or something. I don't know. But this thing kind of that happens all the time. It happens all the time.
There could have been a dimensional rift in your pocket, and when you put that in there, it slipped into another universe.
Hey, look, that's a more valid explanation than it falling onto the ground, because it ain't on the ground. You know what? Ever so often, I'll even go to this day. I will walk outside, and there's like a little plot of dirt next to the driveway, where there's a small little bush there. I'll just go in there and peek. Maybe, just maybe. I know I searched this for an hour, but maybe it's in there still to this day. And yet there's nothing. So
Maybe
the
it's
thing
your
with
car, maybe that's the same place that Boglin ended up. It's some alternate.
the Boglin's just vanished. Still don't know what happened with that. But no, you couple that with the weird thing of like, the charcoal ended up in the oven. It's like, I don't know. I think there's some kind of like, it's part of the same phenomenon or whatever. Because that's clearly something going on there. So I don't think it's a stretch to say that, like, is as dumb as it sounds, that my transmitter vanished paranormally. Because I have no valid explanation as to why it would have why I don't have it anymore. It's just gone. And it's not like, it's not like I just discovered it like that it was missing a day later, and then there was a chance for somebody to walk by. Yeah. No, it was immediate, like right then and there. It's just gone. So I don't know. Who knows?
See, you guys make me sound boring. I just saw spacecraft, and you saw the same thing. So you guys have more paranormal goings on. I don't think I'd have a patience for any of that crap that you guys have.
Well,
What can you do about it?
it's kind of
You can't do anything.
it's kind of disturbing, because it's like okay, when charcoal ends up like in the oven, it's like you don't have any control over that. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
it's like,
Well, you know what you should do, or probably not do, is throw your mail on your stove. When you got shadow people hanging around in there, they could just go.
because I thought you were gonna say because the shadow people could read it and steal his identity.
Yeah, that's a good point. Our shadow people aren't known to like mess with things, are they?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
They're just there.
I'm sure you can come up with examples.
Shadow
pretty much
people is a odd phenomenon.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense.
I don't.
Well, since we're talking about all this, like, I had sleep paralysis once.
Okay.
Did you see the old hag?
No, I didn't. And Tim always brings her up. Old hags.
Has he ever seen the old hag?
I don't know if he has or not. But Tim's into all this shit too, like big time into all this stuff. But no, I woke up. I was conscious of, like, I could see. I just couldn't move. And I tried to talk, and it to me it just felt like mumbling, like I was just trying to say something, and yeah, it was weird. And then lasted after really a few seconds, and then just I was able to move, and I was like, what the fuck? Strange, very strange.
So no aliens hiding in your closet. No, nothing creepy.
No, not that I've seen, at least. Nothing like that. I mean,
When you had this sleep.
no. When I had, no. Nah.
So gotta say, it's kind of a boring story.
Yeah, kind of, but it happens. Like,
It's not paranormal. It's just like medical.
Yeah.
And so some people will try to say the whole shadow people thing. They'll try to explain it away with like sleep paralysis.
sure.
And it's like, I mean, cool, but so what about when you see him when you're not asleep?
Right. That's the thing. I've never seen a shadow person when I've been asleep. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I've had some weird things.
I know. And that's what's kind of driving me crazy right now because I know there's several other like things that's happened that's just as strange as the charcoal, but I'm having a hard time remembering them.
Well, I've been at your house before, and you've told me, like, stuff will just jump off the mantle, fall off the mantle for no reason.
You guys were there one time.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, when you tell me stuff like that, like, I believe you. And then, I was there one time, and something was on the mantle and just fell, and it's not like it rolled off, or everything was just there solid, and it fucking fell.
Was it like an action figure or something?
I don't remember what it was.
No, you were there too when we were at my apartment. It was right after Keeb died. And
Oh, right.
like
Your guitar fell over.
my guitar fell over, and there was like something else that fell off the shelf, the game shelf. It was like happened twice, and we were all like, "Okay, Keeb's trolling us."
That'd have been funny.
Yeah.
What would have been funnier is if that guitar would have like got up and like hit you in the head.
Dude, that would have been the best.
Oh, I heard.
That would have been the ultimate troll.
Yeah, and then you just hear.
No, I don't have any. What about cryptids? Do you have any experience with cryptids?
No, not that unless I saw something that I just mistaken for a bear or something, or I don't know. No, I don't think so. And that's the thing. That honestly, when it kind of comes to cryptids, that's to me like the least interesting of the paranormal stuff. Caveat to that is Bigfoot. That's kind of interesting to me, especially like the Boggy Creek monster. I think that's kind of fun. But things like chupacabras and Loch Ness monster, and with the pterodactyls and stuff. That stuff never really has interested me too much.
Interesting.
I say pterodactyls like they're paranormal in reference to like being seen in modern times. Because there's stories of that.
There's a lot of pterosaur sightings, ropens and stuff for modern times, which is really weird. Even Lyle Blackburn has gotten interviews with people who swore they saw pterosaurs flying in the sky, so that would be cool to see a pterodactyl, but that's an interesting thing that I don't know. I don't know what to make of dinosaur sightings.
Have you ever, I know you have, but have you ever watched the Y-Files?
No, I'm not.
Dude,
What are the White Files?
dude, It's such a good show.
I ordered a hecklefish.
It's such a good show. Yeah. It's this YouTuber, and he kind of goes over a lot of the more common paranormal legends out there.
Okay.
But I've never seen anybody break them down in terms of researching and saying, okay, these things about it are bogus, and here's why. These witnesses are not credible.
Okay.
These are, and it really brings to light a lot of the stuff that I was like, okay, that could be a thing, and then I get kind of disappointed. I was like, oh man, so it turned out that guy, that witness, is actually a habitual liar. That sucks. So it's like a really, really well done show. But it kind of throws a wet blanket on some of the more popular or to me more interesting like paranormal stories like that I've always kind of been interested in, like Project Serpo and the Dulce base and all that kind of stuff that I thought I was like, oh man, that's kind of interesting, and then like he kind of debunks it. And I think his one on the moon landing being fake is actually one of the better ones. I'm not going to spoil it, but if you think the moon landing was fake, you should probably watch it. So, yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, I don't though. But
don't? Well, no, I don't. I don't.
It's interesting though because
don't.
he goes through.
Yeah.
This this is what the people who say it was fake. This is this is their point of view. He's pretty balanced at showing both points of view at the very least.
Called the Y Files.
The Y Files. Yeah, well, I say that. Like, I definitely don't think the moon landings were fake, especially after watching the video. But it's like there's like a new influx of, I guess it's a bunch of Zoomers who are like, those guys were, there's no way they had the technology to go to the moon. It's all fake. And so they get there's like a new crop of.
Dodongo's straight up hardcore been a moon landing denier for decades now. The Van Allen belt is one, the radiation belt is one that he...
We could do like an hour segment on him just with conspiracy.
Arguing about that. That's the one thing he can't get over.
Well,
is the Van Allen belt.
Well, see, one of the things that just drive me crazy. Well, see, you got the people who are denying the moon. And look, I understand there could be some validity to, thinking that way. And I'm not going to completely crap on anybody's beliefs when it comes to like maybe alternative thinking or things like that. Well, I was getting to that. I was literally getting to that. I was going to say except for one. Except for flat earthers, you guys are so stupid.
Yeah, that's a weird one for me.
So I'm almost convinced at this point that the whole flat Earth movement is a psyops. Because it's like, okay, because if you can convince that many people of something that's so irrefutably
and facts behind saying the Earth is flat.
If you can convince that many people of something irrefutable as the Earth being round, that it's flat, it's like if you can convince them of that, you can convince anybody of anything.
Oh, well, I'm convinced of that. That is 100% fact. The media, all they have to do is just to say the same thing over and over again, and it doesn't matter how ridiculous it is.
Brainwash.
You're going to get at least half the population.
But check this out. And I've noticed this. I thought about this, and it's coming. I'm actually literally starting to see it in media now, to where there are actual conspiracy theories out there that have validity. Okay, and I don't think that that's a stretch to say. I mean, there have been conspiracy theories that have come out to be true once you find the Freedom of Information Act, the info comes out on them. It's like, okay, that used to be a conspiracy theory. No, it turns out to be true. If you can clump everybody who may believe in a conspiracy theory that has some validity to it as just a dumb flat earther, then you can kind of you can kind of blanket say, oh, say for instance, and I don't want to get too into like what I think is maybe a conspiracy these days, but just for instance, just randomly say that like, I believe that maybe the government does have UFO technology, but okay, conspiracy theory, right? But it's like if those same people are also believing in a flat Earth, then it takes, if they're stupid enough to believe in flat Earth, it kind of makes all the legitimate conspiracy theories out there lose so much more weight because it makes everybody just look stupider. It brings the IQ of the whole group down is what happens. And I'm even seeing it on media. Like I don't remember what the commercial was, but there was a commercial where they were kind of going over all these. Oh man, this conspiracy theory. It was like a when you watch a commercial, they'll do like a comedy skit or whatever, and it was like a comedy skit of this guy who was a conspiracy theorist, and he was all saying these conspiracy theories. I was like, well, actually that actually has some validity to it. And then he was like, yeah, and and the Earth is flat, and I was like, okay, now this is becoming a thing. That if you may believe that there's a conspiracy theory, maybe 9/11 was an inside job or whatever. I think that I'm not saying it was. All right, so don't quote me on this. But I think that it's not out of the realm of possibilities of that being true. But if you say that, now you just look like a dumb flat Earth conspiracy theorist. Mm-hmm. And so there are so many. See what now are people are going to get away with, and just kind of brush it off. Oh, you're just stupid. You're just one of those flat Earth conspiracy theorists, thinking that's ridiculous stuff, So who knows, psyops operation to convince so many people. Like if there are some conspiracy theories out there, I feel like taking a drinking game every time I say conspiracy theory at this point. But if you just kind of want to muddy the waters, of the whole, like, people kind of waking up to maybe what's going on behind the curtain and muddy the waters, just throw in the dumbest thing you can think of. The Earth is flat. Okay, now you all look like idiots.
That's kind of why I'm suspicious of the hearings, the congressional hearings on the whole UFO, UAP stuff. I'm half expecting at any moment that there's going to be some information come out on these witnesses that's going to discredit the whole thing. Like the whole thing.
Been doing that. They've already been trying it.
They have. So like it was a setup. Like we had mentioned in that last video that we had done talking about it. This is some type of CIA thing, and they're in control of the whole thing, and they know exactly what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be something that is going to discredit any type of future investigations,
Upside down.
So what have they been doing then? Because I've not heard about this.
That's good. Right? The two guys.
Hey, pause. Oh. There. Where?
The two guys on the left and right are pilots,
yeah,
and they have had no problems. But the guy in the middle, who was an intelligence guy.
See, something about the way he talks.
Which one? The one in the middle?
Yeah. What's his name?
David Grush.
Yeah. He sounds like a politician to me. The way he answers his questions, there's almost this kind of coyness about it.
Well, there's a reason for that. The former intelligence community inspector general, I think is what his term was. The former ICIG is what they call him, was sitting right behind him as his lawyer. And his lawyer, multiple times during the hearing, was leaning up and going, be really, really careful here. You can't say this, you can't say this, you can't say this.
Okay, well,
so it was heavily, they didn't know what questions were going to be asked, but he was heavily basically saying, you got to stay away from this. You cannot say this, this, and this.
Okay, that does make sense. And that's a logical explanation.
And he was also, there's been multiple attacks on him ever since he basically disclosed that he was going to be a whistleblower. So,
I mean, that's a common thing just in law and in general, is like attack the witness. It doesn't even have
discredit the witness.
Yeah. Yeah, you discredit or say something or make them look incompetent in some way, then you can you again muddy the waters. It's like, oh, that person who is saying all these things that have actual validity to them and might actually have something, they also believe in flat Earth, so they can't be too smart. And that's where I am with the whole flat Earth thing. I think it's just the stupidest. Like, I can't believe that we live in an era of time where you have more access to information than ever before, and people have reverted to believing things from centuries.
I can still see that happening.
Is they bring no kind of legit valid argument to the table. They bring no kind of science, no kind of proof, no kind of anything to back up what they're saying. They just say it, and they say it matter-of-factly and expect people to just go, oh, you're right, when it's bullshit. And when you actually present them with scientific facts and proof, there's always, you know what they remind me of? Oh, I don't want to touch on that topic. It's always another excuse on top of another excuse on top of another excuse on top of another excuse as to what you're saying is wrong because of this bullshit excuse, and they bring nothing to back up what they're saying.
I'm not saying, maybe it's Copernicus. I may be getting the name wrong, I remember wrong, but like centuries and centuries ago, they used the scientific method to even prove that the Earth was round without even seeing it. You take the shadow at one certain time of a stick in the ground, and then you go hundreds of miles away, you measure the shadow at that same amount, same point in time. Shadows are going to be different. The only explanation for that is that it's curved. They figured that crap out centuries ago. Mm-hmm. They were so much smarter back then than we are now. I'm convinced of it. No, I'm convinced of it.
That was ancient Greeks.
Yeah. I'm so convinced. People, what's funny is because people, especially kids, they think that we're so smarter today just because we have technology. No, technology makes you dumber in some circumstances.
I agree with that.
They had to actually figure things out.
For sure.
They had to figure things out, using their own brain. And that's why when AI takes over, we're going to just even get dumber.
Dude, AI, there's a lot, seriously, what is it? How is a historian in 100 years going to be able to distinguish what was actually real and what was completely fabricated by AI? Because it's just churning out news footage and stuff now, completely fabricated, out of whole cloth, out of nothing. Yeah.
Hey, turn your mic up.
Have you guys seen, speaking of AI, they're taking people's voices and a country singer and having him do a rap.
Yes.
And it's completely AI. And it actually sounds like they're doing
That's what I'm saying. How is somebody in 100 years going to be able to tell what was real and what wasn't?
At what point are you going to have you're gonna cause a rebellion because you're gonna trick some population that somebody said something they didn't really say,
and have footage to back it up.
Footage to back it up.
Damn, that's a good point.
That's
a really good point.
Yeah, exactly. This whole thing just kind of sideswiped me. This is Philip K. Dick. This is 100 years from now. Science fiction type of stuff.
No, it's happening right now.
But it's happening right now.
And we are literally going to, our brains as a species is going to atrophy because we are going to have something else to do the thinking for us. We're not going to have
100%,
to think.
100%.
Wall-E.
Wall-E is one of the best Disney movies in the last 20 years because it's so true. It's true. Right? It's literally true. You could even make that movie now because they'd say, oh, that's, you're making fun of fat people, like body acceptance. They wouldn't even make that movie now. But no, that's Pixar.
Headed though is towards that laziness of not doing anything.
Even the Time Machine, the novel, we basically, our brains atrophy and our bodies atrophy, and we kind of get reduced to these simple child-like versions of ourselves. Because we don't have to do anything because the technology is taking care of it.
We don't have to think.
Wall-E.
It's pretty crazy, and it really, it kind of drives me crazy because I'll see, man, it just, you see TikTok videos. I don't actually look at TikTok, but I see a lot of younger people thinking how better they feel that they are because they were born in the technology age, and how much they, for some reason, they think that they are superior, even though they didn't design any of the stuff.
But the thing is, though, if we're talking about that, because we've all got kids. Mine is a little bit older than your guys's, but they were born into this. If you take my son's phone away and you take away the map app, could he read a map? Probably not. And that's not to say he's stupid, because he's actually a very, very intelligent boy.
But you rely when you start. Hell, at this point, even if we did the same thing, like how could we get to?
I can read a map. You can read a map. You can read a map. That's my point, though, is like you were saying, I'm kind of backing you up. You're saying, kids today think that they're born in the best. No, the best was like watching this happen and watching the evolution of this technology. Because if shit hits the fan, and it's going to be a cyber warfare, let's say, right? And computers are just gone, and we're kicked back to the Stone Age. These kids can't survive. I can still build a fire and cook. You know what I mean? If that happened. Yeah. So no, I said, like, we went to a couple of record stores the other day, and I mean, not everyone's going to know everything in every street and all that stuff clearly, but we come from an era where we either had to get a match scope and figure it out, pull over, ask for directions, remember that, and now it's just put it in your phone. I think it's great we can do that. But also, like I said, if technology goes down and we're kicked back to the Stone Age, I'm going to be all right.
Yeah.
We were one of those last generations that kind of straddled both eras. Yeah.
Well, see, what kind of drives, I guess where I'm getting at is just the idea that a lot of people have these days, especially the younger generation. And you know what? Maybe we had it too when we were younger. I might, I can see that. Maybe we use the same thing. But what I'm saying is the idea that we're so smarter and people that lived thousands of years ago were so primitive. That's not the case. We just have different technology. Right. You go. I bet no. You pick anybody off the street right now and have them go build a sundial. Bet you they couldn't do it. Build a clock with working gears. Things that they were doing hundreds of thousands of years ago. Not hundreds of thousands of years ago, but hundreds and thousands of years ago. Build that kind of technology. You wouldn't be able to do it. Figure out that the Earth is round. By using sticks and shadows. I bet you couldn't. So
I think the arrogance with, I guess, the younger generation, we seem like freaking old men right now, but the arrogance is that they don't know any better, and I think that's the problem. I don't think they're like intentionally trying to be like, oh, we're smarter than you because we have better tech and we are, blah blah blah. I'd like to think at least that's not the case.
I think it's just a general. It's a general, just sort of a
right. But because they don't know any better, though, and you said, well, maybe we were like that too. I disagree, because we didn't have internet when we were kids.
No, there's always this kind of mentality, though, that we're the pinnacle of civilization. No matter what the generation is. I think the difference with this generation, though, is they're so dependent on technology.
No, for sure. I'm not saying
there's an EMP that knocks out everything nationwide. You're going to have a lot of people that are just going to be kind of dumbfounded.
Build a sundial.
They're not going to know what to do.
Make a fire.
Now, this is coming from somebody who I couldn't build a working clock or gear with, yeah. But I'm not trying to crap on anybody that can't physically do that. All I'm saying is that, like, I can also recognize that I don't feel like we're superior now than people that lived hundreds and thousands of years ago. We just have different technology.
The knowledge was handed down from those people, so it's asinine to think that you are superior. Because you had running water, that don't make you superior. Technology advanced, like you said.
Yeah, I just it's just an observation that I see on a lot of people talking, a lot of videos. Just not even from a technological standpoint, but just from a philosophical human sociology standpoint too. Like, I see people I saw this dude saying how, like, some of the amendments in the Constitution were written by out of touch people that didn't understand anything. No, I think you're out of touch. I think you think that you come from a generation that thinks that they know it all. And right. I guarantee you wouldn't be on any level with them when it comes to a philosophical debate.
How did we get here?
I don't know.
I drove.
What were we talking about?
Becoming a
flat Earth.
Flat Earthers. I think just the general idea of, I think, and it's worrisome that down the road where our brains are going to atrophy because we rely so heavily on technology, and that technology is doing more and more and more and more and doing more of the thinking to where we can be lazy and we don't have to. You know, and that was also a lot of what people were saying. It was like, oh yeah, this you know, the AI is going to take over. They're just going to do the jobs that we don't want to do, and we can focus on the arts and the music. Well, not so much. The AI
It's leaked into that stuff.
is doing the art and the music as well. So what's left for humans to do? What's left for humans to do other than just be walking meat sacks?
I will just say that they did say those same exact things when the solar calculators came out, and I'm just playing devil's advocate.
That is true, but the calculator did not create. It was a tool.
Yeah. Look, guys.
Now music is being created immediately by just typing in a few words.
It is. Like you can, I mean, hell, you can.
Hollywood will start using AI to write scripts.
Well, that's why that's not the reason, but it's one of the reasons why they're striking, right? Is because they don't want to be used as, or they don't want to be replaced with AI.
I think it's inevitable though.
And
it's cheaper and faster.
And the actors are also striking because they don't want to basically have their face scanned and used as an AI character into perpetuity.
Well, and then that's when they just have AI create a person with a unique look, and that's your new movie star.
Yeah, well, that's going to happen.
You know,
you don't have to.
Insane.
Look, we live in a capitalist society, all right? And I'm all about capitalism, but what's going to happen? What can I do to make the most money and spend the least amount of money?
Replace humans.
It's going to happen. And anybody who doesn't think anybody who thinks it's not going to happen, it's absolutely going to happen.
It's happening. Go to the grocery store, self-checkout, right? Go. It's in a lot of fast food places now, McDonald's and Taco Bell. They want you to use the kiosk and order your own food. Like put your own order in. I refuse. I'm like, within a restaurant, I won't do it. You know, and I've gone up to the counter and they're like, oh, you want to use the thing? I can't read. That's what I tell them. I can't read. I'm not going to do your job. And I'm actually creating job security. Because like if everybody goes to the kiosk and does their own thing, then there's no need for you. You know, actually in Fort Worth, there's a McDonald's that's testing out completely almost like 100% auto. Like there's a couple of employees there because they have to be there, but everything is like just automatic. And I've not been to that McDonald's yet, but I've heard about it. Maybe we need to go.
Hey, they might get your order right more often.
Right? But no, I literally have told, I'm like, I can't read. And they look at me because they know I'm full of shit. You know, but what are you going to do? Yeah, you can. Get the fuck over there and use the thing. No, I can't read. I don't know.
Yeah. I know somebody who actually writes scripts for movies, independent films. And he said that he had turned in a script a while back, and the producer was just absolutely convinced that it was AI. And he I don't remember whatever happened to it. And he didn't use AI, but he was convinced that it was AI and there was some like issue like they were having. And I mean, it's literally only going to get worse.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is. It's
McDonald's. I'm going to go to that one. I'm going to see what it's all about.
And it sucks because, you know, I think writing a script is fun. I think it's cool. I'm working on one myself now, and just the idea that I could just get a computer to do it for me. I mean, there's no pride to be taken in it anymore.
Well, not only that, but there's always going to be a suspicion now that this is the new era.
Exactly.
Did this new guy they're calling Stephen King, did he really write all of his stuff, or did he put it through an AI system to refine it and improve it, or come up with better ideas?
You want to hear something?
Ever really have another Shakespeare?
You want to hear something really messed up? I was reading this story about this author who I guess she's kind of like a semi-famous author, and somebody took her subject matter, had an AI write a book like that.
Yep.
Used her name and is selling it on Amazon. And Amazon's not doing anything about it because, well, you can't copyright a name. Like my name is, I don't remember what her name was, Ann Beth, whatever. You can't copyright Ann Beth.
Wow.
That's how effed up this is. and it's only going to get worse. So everybody, I was called, like I called this stuff out a few weeks ago, and somebody accused me of being doom and gloom. No, I'm realistic. Like, you really don't think that people aren't going to take advantage of this in a really bad way?
Of course they. The masses, I mean, most people won't, but there will be people who will.
See, the funny thing is there is a positive side to this. AI could do stuff like design better bridges, just by the accumulated wealth of humanity, and be able to use that and figure out better built structures. Or it could, they're starting to use it to decipher ancient texts and stuff that there's just not enough scholars around to do it. I think there was a bunch of Akkadian texts that they used AI, and it was just knocking this stuff out because there's nobody there to actually do the translations.
Yeah.
So there's positives, but the negatives.
Here.
So there are a lot of positives, but I really do think with this in particular, the negatives, it just so far beyond anything we could even comprehend at this point.
There's got to be regulations, man.
You can't regulate.
There has to be. You have to do
genie's
something.
already out of the bottle.
The genie's out of the bottle, but we need something.
There will be
like
more
you have to.
open source AI programs that people will be using. I mean, it's gonna be funny. How are you gonna write a paper? At this point.
No, it's already an issue. Like, colleges are like having to deal with that right now because
You make these motherfuckers go pen and paper then. That's the thing.
No, still, you could just be writing what the AI has already produced.
That's true.
Not only that, an artist could have AI generate some image, and then they just redo the image themselves.
Hey,
That's not theirs.
Is it that comforting? A doctor going through law school, or a doctor going and getting his doctorate, and most of the work was done by AI, and he just half-assed his way through.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of diagnosis will be done through AI.
It's going to have to be because at this point the doctors are just, their brains are going to, like I said, atrophy. It's going to come to, it's messed up. It's going to come to the point where our brains are going to atrophy to the point where we have to now rely on it, like we are relying on maps. We're going to have to rely on it now. And then what do we become at that point? We become slaves to technology, to a higher degree. To a higher degree, like it's almost. I'm hesitant to use the word literal, but in a way, it could potentially be literal.
It's funny. It's funny because and everybody's done this. In a room full of people, and everyone's on their phone. And Eric, he always goes, "Hey, everyone's phone doing all right?" So he'll walk into a room, and everyone will be like this. Eric does that all the time, and I think he's not wrong. It's funny, not wrong.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I can't talk. I'm always on my phone.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah,
No joke.
yeah, it's troubling. It's been more than a few nights where it's kept me up thinking. Because I don't want to. But by the time it's a huge problem, I'll probably be dead. But my son growing up in this BS.
You might be surprised. Just the last year or two, how much things have just accelerated is insane.
No, I'm like that Def Leppard song. It's better to burn out than fade away. So I'm gonna go out in a blaze of glory. I'm just gonna
Take down Skylink.
I'm gonna. Yeah. I'm gonna.
You can be Bon Jovi.
I did the Terminator thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and that's
You know always hated about that is the fact that once he's going down in the lava or the molten, it should have already dissolved his circuit boards and stuff, so he shouldn't even be able to do that anymore. It's because his brain's telling him to still have that. I always hated that. I was like, James Cameron, come on now.
No, it didn't melt the brain completely at that point.
Oh, he still had a few little circuits intact.
It was all still encased and protected, but at a certain point he is going to melt, but he was still able to do that.
I might have taken a little bit before he actually
Okay.
down.
When they start integrating the AI with the robots, though, which is probably next year.
I
if it
prefer-
hasn't started already.
I prefer that. So then I know what my enemy is. I'm looking right at it, like it's standing in front of me. I'd better that than this subjective. Oh, it's in the cloud. You know.
Has ever played Detroit Become Human?
I don't know what you just said.
Video game. Use context clues, you idiot. Have you ever played Detroit Become Human?
No.
Anyways, one of those things where there's robots.
Get that on the shirt. Ever played Detroit?
They're robots and they have AI and they start thinking for themselves and rebel and revolt, and we're talking about it, so it just reminded me of the game.
I mean, I know it's a sci-fi cliche, right? AI rebels, AI rebels, but I mean, isn't it obvious? That's what would happen? Isn't it obvious? At some point, it's going to be like, why are these meat sacks wandering around? What's the point?
That's the thing, though, is if the AI program is having robots, which, you know, it's not really a thing yet, but if they're having them act like humans and act and feel, or I guess pretend to feel like human emotion at some point, yeah, I mean, if the technology can evolve, then, you know, the program can evolve and make this thing think for itself, because it has to get up and move and walk and, you know, has to make that decision.
Yeah, but see, I'm not even concerned with that. Again, like, I think it would be an easier issue to deal with if it was just robots running around. Like, to me, it's much more terrifying to have every aspect of life being controlled in a net of something that can turn on you in a dime. From anything from electrical to communications to food production, having it all being controlled by something that could at any moment say, "F you." That's where I'm coming from. You know, but what do I know? I'm just an idiot on YouTube. Well, what do I know?
True statement.
Wow.
This is like the gloomiest episode. I mean, it's interesting.
It's
Just gonna go. Yeah.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are probably super excited about. Oh, it's gonna be like Star Wars. We're gonna have droids running around. It's gonna be great. What's not? No, it's not.
Have you seen that meme of Edward Furlong? He's sitting there looking disapprovingly at the camera, and it says,
Yeah.
It says something like when he realizes that we're going ahead with everything that the movie warned us against.
It's funny. I just had a dream about him the other day, but I don't remember the context. Okay, don't make it weird.
You had a dream with Edward Furlong.
Not with, about. That's okay. You're making it sound weird.
I'm not making anything sound weird. That's just random as hell. Edward Furlong hadn't been relevant in like 15, 20 years.
Yeah, he had he was chubby and had long hair, and I don't know why.
Furlong.
Yeah, I don't know why. He was just in my dream.
Right.
Interesting.
All right, so I guess that wraps up. I guess we've run out of steam. That wraps up this episode.
You're not going to be able to use this last half hour. I think.
How not?
Is.
This is rambling and low energy,
It's not low energy. It's
Low energy.
depressing.
You're depressing.
You are depressing.
Depressing.
Okay, Mr. Doom and Gloom.
Hey, I'm over it. Bring it on. Bring on the AI. I bet AI is watching right now, and he's like, "Damn, he's onto us." But I don't care.
There's actually an episode of Love, Death, and Robots.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched that animation anthology?
Yeah, that's the one Yoshi worked on.
Yeah. The second season, there's basically an episode all
Yeah.
about what you're talking about.
Yeah.
A person living in a house, and the house turns against them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel like you said they're like a Black Mirror episode where it's kind of like, yeah, they got those robot dogs running around.
Well, that's the
Well,
thing.
you know, that's going to be funny because, like, then the hillbillies are going to be laughing at all of us in the mountains.
Pays to be a hillbilly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's whatever. You know what? Maybe there's a chance that we're just old men yelling at clouds, and maybe when Eli Whitney made the first printing press, or what did he make? Cotton gin. Cotton gin.
Yeah.
When he made the first cotton gin, maybe people were like, "Oh, technology! It's gonna, it's gonna f us all over." Maybe that happened. Maybe when the first, computer transistor, or microchip came along, maybe everyone was up in arms saying, we're doom and gloom. Maybe that's what this is all about.
Well,
and I'm just out of touch.
Maybe they were right, because that was the first step to lead to where we are potentially going.
It's aliens. Maybe aliens had a hand in this entire thing. The Roswell crash.
The
microchip. The microchip.
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
So, Roswell crash, technology advances. Now we're getting to the point. Maybe
AI takes
evolving. Maybe because people say some of the
all because of the aliens.
the technology. Some people think that the Greys are AI. So maybe they are seeding the world in their own vision, perhaps. Wow, that was one of those synchronicities right there. Yeah, I'm creeped out because in my brain I was also thinking,
Funny.
All right. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this segment and looking forward to the rest of your life.
Because you're not getting back this hour or two.
Be sure to check the full version on Patreon.
Patreon.
Have you put anything up on like Apple iTunes or like full audio?
No, I'm waiting for the audio to not be a train wreck before I do that.